Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as Ivy Winter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. It's been a little over a week and a half since Disney Plus has launched, and I have a lot to say about it. So as some of you know, I got the D23 deal of 3 years on Disney Plus. It's basically 3 years for the price of 2. I was also able to stack my Verizon deal, which is a free year on top of that. So anyone who has an unlimited Verizon plan, I really suggest that you do this. If you have another D23 deal, you can stack it on, great. If you don't and you're paying month by month, still use this and you'll get a year free. But I was able to stack, so I essentially had 4 years of Disney Plus for around $3.80 a month after I did the math. So it better be great still in 4 years because I'm kind of stuck with it. So launch day for Disney Plus was November 12th, and I'm going to admit my launch day experience was not great. I've been watching on the PlayStation 4, and I'm going to preface this by saying that it seems different ways of watching have different issues or no issues at all. And so I wanted to say that I'm watching on the PlayStation because I think that's where a lot of issues are stemming from. What I'm gathering with talking to other people, I'm not hearing as many issues on the Roku or Fire Stick or desktop, but we'll get there. So launch was really difficult. Downloading was fine. Getting in was fine. Things were loading a little bit slowly, and I thought, it's fine. There's like a whole bunch of people on here watching Apple Dumpling Gang right now, so like, I get it. It's gonna be a little slow. But then when I started to try to watch different things, this was about 9 a.m. Eastern, so a few hours after it had been up, not too many, I was getting a lot of errors. I was being told that shows weren't available. I was just getting random, like, this didn't work errors. I just couldn't watch anything, which was probably for the best considering it was still a work day for me. So I kind of had to focus, but I kind of gave up. I tried to build out my profile, and when I tried to change my profile photo, I got nothing, didn't load, nothing happened at all. So that was kind of day one. I did eventually get to watch some shows later on. I watched The Imagineering Story, I watched The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and The Mandalorian, all of which I'll talk about in a little bit. But we had some playback issues that we're still actually seeing more recently. So the biggest playback issue that we had was I would hear sound, it would continue to play the sound, but my visual would be paused. And then after about 10 seconds of that, it would just revert back to where I last left off before the glitch happened and keep going. This only happens maybe 2 to 3 times in watching all 3 of those shows. So it wasn't super prevalent. I kind of just dealt with it. I was fine with it actually going backwards, so I didn't miss anything. And again, I thought, oh, there's just a lot of people on here, so streaming's probably all messed up because we do have really good internet. We have Fios in our house. It's super fast, so I knew it wasn't our internet. But I, again, giving it the benefit of the doubt. Said, we're actually running into new problems now, and I know there's been a couple of updates to the app, so I don't know if an update, what happens sometimes, and I've seen this in a lot of video games, right, because I play a lot of video games, you update a game, you fix something and it breaks something else. So it's really possible that with the recent update, they fixed something and broke something else. When we were watching the second episode of The Mandalorian, we were getting the weirdest glitch. And when I looked this up, it seems again like it's very much a PlayStation 4 issue. If someone's seeing the following on a different system or platform or whatever, let me know. But we, about 5 or 6 times in the 32-minute Mandalorian episode, we kept getting speed ups. What was happening on the screen would just speed up for about 2 or 3 seconds. And it didn't revert, it didn't like go back like the slow loading issue. It just would speed up and everyone would be moving really fast or talking really fast. And then that would be it. And it did this about 5 or 6 times during the show, which was kind of a bummer because it kind of took us out of the show. I know my husband Peter was like really annoyed by it. And Again, I think this is just a matter of like they're working out certain kinks. But I wish I wasn't experiencing it. And then there's some interesting things that were kind of lacking. What I noticed is, and maybe this is just me, but I don't think that you can actually see how long an episode of something is before you go into it. Like on Netflix, you can go to an episode and it'll say, or you can look at all the episodes and it'll say, you know, this one's 47 minutes, this one's 52 minutes, whatever. I didn't recall seeing how long an episode was. Like we were gonna start The Mandalorian. Peter said, how long is it? I was like, I don't know. And then we started it and we were like, oh, it's only 30 something minutes. So that kind of UX stuff is missing. I know that people are complaining that there's no ability to pick up where you left off. Like they want to have, say I'm watching Boy Meets World and I'm on season 3, episode 6. They want to know what the next episode is that they're up to. Like that episode 7 is the next one and that's the next one you should be watching. So basic things that I think we are so used to with things like Netflix and Hulu and all of that, that of course we expect it, right? That's become the basic user experience that we've had with streaming. Another gripe of mine, and I would love to know your experiences, is that I feel like the recommended doesn't really work. Like the algorithm isn't strong enough right now. Granted, I've only watched a few things, but I would expect that because I've been watching originals that maybe they would recommend me more originals, but I feel like all the recommendations have stayed the same. They're mostly just like a bunch of Marvel and Star Wars and whatever. So I would just love to see something a little bit more in tune with what I'm watching, a la Netflix, which gives you a bunch of categories, but as you keep scrolling, eventually kind of fine-tunes the recommendations to what you've been watching. I watch a lot of horror on Netflix. It knows this. It gives me a lot of horror movie recommendations. I love that. So Disney, definitely fix your algorithm so that your recommendations actually mean something, because right now they seem a little bit standard. Oh gosh, okay, I feel like I'm just sounding very negative, but the truth is I'm just talking about a lot of the things that I sort of experienced. On the flip side, on the positive side, I feel like my first experience with Disney Plus otherwise was great in terms of content. There were so many movies that I forgot about that I loved as a kid. Like just things that, one, I forgot Disney owned, and two, sometimes forgot about altogether. So like Blank Check was a movie I loved as a kid. I watched it so many times. And then just kind of forgot that it existed, and then I just saw it on Disney Plus and was very, very excited. Things like Prince of Persia that I forgot that Disney owned. Oh my gosh. Lots of issues with that movie, but still not terrible for a video game adaptation, I gotta say. Oh, it was definitely this overwhelm of nostalgia, and I don't know what to pick first, and it was such a fun experience. Speaking of originals, they are probably my favorite thing on Disney Plus. I am more consistently sitting down and making sure to watch that stuff than necessarily going back to old school stuff. That's not saying I'm not gonna eventually have an Avengers binge and, you know, all of that, which, you know, I'll probably wait till most of them are actually on there to do that. I really am enjoying the original shows. I have not watched the Pixar in Real Life show. That really isn't my jam. I know it's short. If you listen to the last TTA podcast, Rob and I talked about it a bit. He told me they were really short episodes, which is all fine and dandy, but it's just not my jam. Like, I'm not into like those reality sort of, here's a scenario we're putting people in, whether it's feel good or not, it's just not. It's not for me. But the three that I'm watching, which I mentioned earlier, The Mandalorian, obviously, I feel like everyone's watching that. The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and The Imagineering Story. So The Mandalorian is really everything I could want in a live action Star Wars show. It's beautifully shot. I cannot get over some of the shots in that show. Like, they're just so gorgeous that they take me back in the moment of what I'm watching. The cinematography is awesome. I love Pedro Pascal, even though obviously you can't see him. He's got his helmet on all the time, but I know it's him under there. The cast in general is really, really good. This is, by the way, spoiler free. I'm not going to be putting any spoilers in here. That could be a whole other video, but I'm interested in the plot right now. It is piquing my interest. My one complaint is I don't like that the episodes are so short. There's a part of me that's like, well, I get it, and I'm happy that they don't try to cram in a bunch of stuff for 50 minutes and then it doesn't make sense. Like, let them make the show to the time that their story fits to, right? Like, not drag it out. But on the other side, I'm like, I want more. Like 32 minutes, 35 minutes, it's just not enough of like this big cinematic universe for me. And also knowing, I believe we only have 8 episodes, so we're already 2 in. I don't know. I'm hoping for 1 or 2 longer episodes. I'm not saying we need to have an hour plus, but I'm just hoping for a little bit more. But that said, you know, at this point that I'm recording this, there's only been 2 episodes. So, and I don't know if by the time this go out, there might be a 3rd one, but I really, really enjoy it. There's great humor. There's great physical humor without the need of any dialogue. I'm super, super into it. I'm just so stoked that we have something like this. So I love it. The World According to Jeff Goldblum is as quirky and amazing as I was hoping it would be. Now, I am a Jeff Goldblum fan, and so I think if you aren't or you find him kind of weird, maybe this won't be for you. He's definitely being his usual quirky self, but it never feels forced or faked. His enthusiasm for the topics that he's covering seems really genuine. I just really love seeing it through the lens of him, because that is the whole point of this, right? It isn't let's follow Jeff Goldblum around doing things. It's seeing these topics. So far it's been sneakers and ice cream through the lens of Jeff Goldblum. And I think that's really great. And then of course, last but certainly not least, is the Imagineering story. It is fantastic. I mean, I'll be honest, a lot of things I know, and I feel like a lot of things many of you watching this channel know, because we're big Disney fans. So, you know, we know about Pepper's Ghost, we know about the World's Fair and kind of where a lot of the rides came from, but I think that the way the story is told is brilliantly done. Angela Bassett is a fantastic voiceover. I think that they're really cramming a lot of information in few episodes, but doing it at a great pace. It doesn't feel like I'm being rushed, and it doesn't feel like we're spending too much time on certain topics. They really touch on all of the big rides and as they've been developed. You know, the first episode being dedicated to Disneyland was awesome, and right, and you know, talking about Walt's passing at the end was so sad. It like really got me. And then the second episode being about Disney World and a lot about Epcot, like really, I got like verklempt watching the whole Epcot part. It really reminded me of what that park is about. And I know that we all have our opinions about where it stands right now, but I love that park. I'm excited for what's to come, and watching that made me nostalgic for how they built it and what they had in mind, and like, it was so well done. So overall, it was Disney Plus been worth it for me. It's kind of been early, but right now I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how I'll feel in 3 months, 6 months, a year, but currently I think it's been really great. I really, really love the new shows. They are such a pull for me to keep going back to the service. I am excited to dive into the old stuff. I'm sort of waiting for some stuff to be added because contractually, you know, Black Panther, for instance, is still on Netflix, and so we have to wait for certain things, which is a bummer, but at the same time, it is what it is. Contracts are contracts, so you have to abide by them. So, and yes, it did have some glitches, and I'm really hoping that they sort themselves out. Fortunately, I was able to change my profile picture, and guess who it is? Nope, it is not Donald. It is Robin Hood, because I thought it was so cool that he was an option. I also have my brother on there, my friend Nikki, because you can have up to 4 simultaneous streams. So I thought, spread the Disney magic. Just join in, guys. I'm locked in for 4 years. You might as well get locked in with me. So there's definitely pros and cons. I think that there's a lot that needs to be fixed. I have trust in them that it's going to happen. I just hope that it happens sooner than later. I hope that in 3 months' time I'm not still complaining about, you know, weird lags or speeding up or not being able to load a show. You know, I feel like these are issues that they should be addressing as soon as possible to make this as smooth of an experience as possible. Because while I'm a big Disney fan and I have patience, there's a lot of people who are gonna sign up and be like, this isn't working for me, and they're gonna cancel. So I think they really do need to step it up. Those are my thoughts on Disney Plus. I would love to know if you subscribed, if you've checked it out. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Are you running into glitches? Let me know. Is there a favorite original show that you have? Let me know. Anything at all you want to talk about Disney Plus, let's talk about it. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe and make videos every single week. I really appreciate all of the new people here, the old people who've been here forever. If you want to chat with the group, we're having great discussions in our Discord channel. We just added a gaming chat channel because Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, duh, but also everything else that we're playing. Apparently Pokemon's the big one right now. So if you want to join the community of people who watch this channel, join the Discord. The link will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great rest of the day. Bye.